My wife wanted a fake divorce so her best friend's son could get into a good school. I told her it was a crazy idea a dozen times, but she wouldn't listen. She said I was being difficult, that I was making a big deal out of nothing. So I decided to call her bluff, turn the fake divorce into a real one, and make her live with the consequences. My name is Leo Miller. I'm 35. 7 years ago, I married my college girlfriend, Valerie, and for 7 years, she's told me she doesn't like kids, that she never wants to have them. I love her so much I agreed. Valerie runs her own successful marketing firm while I take care of everything at home. I was in the middle of tidying up our downtown Denver condo when my phone buzzed. It was her. I answered immediately. "Hey, honey, are you coming home for dinner tonight?" Her voice on the other end was clipped, all business. "Dinner? Is that all you think about, Leo? Listen, I'm calling about the condo. You know it's in that prime school district, right? I'm gonna let my best friend use the address for his son's enrollment." She paused, then added, "I assume you don't have a problem with that." A hot knot of anger tightened in my stomach. "Your best friend? You mean your ex-boyfriend, Dylan?" "Oh, for God's sake," she snapped. "Stop being so paranoid." "Yes, my ex-boyfriend. But there's nothing going on between us. Think about it, Leo. If there was, do you really think a washout like you would have ever married me?" "So you finally admit it," I said, my voice rising. "Don't think I'm stupid, Val. I know what's been going on. I just chose not to say anything. You see, this is what happens when you have too much time on your hands," she said, completely ignoring me. "You just sit around and cook up these fantasies. If you were as busy as I am, you wouldn't have the energy for this nonsense. I'm just helping his son get into a good school. What's the big deal?" She took a breath. "Right. So, for this to work, the condo has to be my primary residence, and since we're married, it gets complicated. We'll have to get a fake divorce first. Then, I'll have to get a fake marriage certificate with Dylan so we can transfer his son's records. It's just paperwork. So are you in or not?" "I'll tell you what I'm in for," I shot back. "No, absolutely not." I hung up. I thought that would be the end of it. But later, as I was getting ingredients out for dinner, the doorbell rang. It was a FedEx courier with a flat envelope addressed specifically to me. I couldn't remember ordering anything. Puzzled, I signed for it and sat on the sofa. I tore open the cardboard flap and my blood ran cold. Inside were 2 copies of a divorce petition. My heart felt like it was being squeezed in a vice. I furiously redialed Valerie's number. It rang and rang before she finally picked up, her voice impatient. "What is it now?" "I'm busy. I have a meeting in 5. If this isn't important, I'm hanging up." "It's important," I said, my voice shaking with rage. "The divorce papers. You sent me divorce papers, Val. You couldn't even face me? You had to send them by courier?" "Don't be so dramatic," she sighed. "I already told you, it's just for show." I was about to believe her, that she really was at work, really had a meeting, when I heard it, clear as day, in the background. Dylan's voice, and the sound of a child laughing and shouting. I hung up without another word. The lie burned through me. I stared at the fresh vegetables on the counter, then shoved them aside. I grabbed a steak from the fridge, seared it, and poured myself a large glass of Cabernet. Then another. Slightly drunk and utterly miserable, I started scrolling through my phone. And then I saw it. A picture that made me shoot to my feet. It was on Dylan's Facebook feed. A photo of him, Valerie, and a little boy, all laughing, huddled together like a perfect family. The caption read, "Huge thanks to my girl Val for helping my son get into the best school in the city. Can't believe she's really divorcing her husband for us." Her husband. He made me sound like an inconvenient footnote. My heart hammered against my ribs. The anger and disbelief were suffocating. My fingers turned white as I gripped my phone, the screen glowing with their happy, treacherous faces. Valerie's smile in the photo was warm, but it held a resolve, a sense of release I hadn't seen in years. The 3 of them looked so natural, so complete. My hand trembled as I scrolled through more of Dylan's posts. The casual intimacy was everywhere, a blatant disregard for me, for our marriage. A bitter taste filled my mouth. I chugged the rest of the wine, but the alcohol only sharpened the pain. The steak on my plate was cold, just like my heart. I realized our marriage hadn't just failed. It had been a ghost for a long time, and I was the fool who kept pretending it was real. The condo was silent except for my own ragged breathing. The wind whistling outside the window sounded like it was mocking me. I closed my eyes, trying to calm the storm inside, but the image of their betrayal was burned into my mind. After the anger subsided into a cold, heavy resignation, I sat back down for myself another glass. I was done trying to save a love that was already dead. I was just tired. It was obviously planned. All those years I wanted kids, and Valerie's excuse was always that she just didn't like them. But now, for her ex-boyfriend's son, she was willing to end our marriage. I was an idiot. I had been determined not to sign. But now, seeing the truth so clearly, I walked back to the sofa, picked up the pen, and signed my full name on the dotted line. After a while, I packed my clothes into a suitcase and left it by the bedroom door. Then I sat on the sofa and waited. At 3 in the morning, Valerie stumbled in, drunk. She swayed with a practiced elegance, wearing a tight, purple bodycon dress I'd never seen before. Her legs were sheathed in shimmering stockings that caught the light, and a soft pink blouse was tailored perfectly to her frame, the neckline dipping just enough to show off her collarbones. But for the first time, her appearance did nothing for me. I watched her completely numb. She frowned when I didn't get up to help her, but managed to sink onto the sofa next to me. As soon as she sat down, I slid pointedly away from her. Seeing me move away, Valerie shifted closer, trying to wrap her arms around me. I sidestepped her easily. "Leo, honey, I drank too much," she murmured. "I feel awful. Can you just hold me?" Instead of holding her, I moved to the armchair across from her. Her expression hardened. "Leo, what the hell is your problem?" she slurred, her voice sharp with anger. "You have no idea how exhausting my day was. The least you could do is show some concern instead of acting like a child. Are you serious right now?" I could see she knew I was upset. "You're the one who's exhausted?" I said with a humorless laugh. Playing house with another man and his kid must be tiring. Her eyes went wide. In all our years of marriage, I had never spoken to her like that. Usually, the second she got upset, I'd fall all over myself trying to make her happy. I'd treated her like a goddess, terrified of losing her. Tonight, I finally realized I was nothing but a doormat. No matter how much I gave, how much I humbled myself for her, she would never truly value me. Her face crumpled into a mask of theatrical sorrow. "Leo, you don't understand," she said, tears welling in her eyes. "It was Dylan's son's birthday. His mom isn't in the picture. The kid is so young. Dylan asked me to be there for him. How could I say no? Could you honestly say no?" She fumbled in her purse and threw a takeout container on the table. "Look, I even brought you back your filet wings. You can't say I don't think about you." I looked at the greasy, half-eaten leftovers and felt a surge of rage. I gave her a thin, cold smile. "That's really thoughtful, Val. Except for one thing. You know I have a stomach ulcer. You know I can't eat spicy food. Have you ever, in 7 years, seen me cook with hot sauce?" She had no answer. I stood up, walked over to the divorce papers, and held one out to her. "Here, I signed it. All it needs is your signature, and it's official. As for filing it at the courthouse, let me know when you're free. We can go anytime." Seeing that I was serious, a flicker of panic crossed her face. She tried to hug me again, but I stepped away. "Honey, listen to me," she pleaded. "It's not what you think. This is just a fake divorce. I swear, as soon as the school stuff is sorted out, we'll go get remarried. It won't even take that long." I looked at her face, then pictured her laughing with Dylan, and my voice was flat and empty. "No, we're not getting back together. It's too much trouble. I'm tired, Valerie. I'm just so tired. My words finally lit her fuse. She pointed a finger at my face. "Leo Miller, you pathetic loser. You have a nerve to be tired? Since the day we got married, I've paid for everything. Have you worked a single day? My company has dozens of employees counting on me to make payroll. And what do? You cook and do laundry. What's so hard about that? You get to sit at home all day, and you're still not satisfied? You just sit here, brewing up paranoid fantasies. Dylan and I have been friends for over a decade. We're just friends. I'll say it again. If there was anything more, do you really think you would have ever had a chance with me?" Whenever she talked about Dylan, her eyes lit up and a smile played on her lips. It only fueled my anger. I turned away, refusing to engage. She wasn't done. "And you know what, Leo? This isn't even about Dylan. It's about his son. I just feel sorry for the kid, growing up without a mother. I've explained it clearly. I need you to stop being so childish. I'm exhausted." Her arrogance, the way she dismissed me as worthless, finally broke something inside me. "Don't you forget how your company got started," I shot back. "When you had no money for your startup, who took out loans? And that first big contract, do you even remember how you got it?" I didn't wait for an answer. "You've probably blocked it out. I had to stake out that client's office for 2 weeks just to get a meeting. And at dinner, I drank myself into oblivion with 2 bottles of cheap whiskey just to get him to sign. That's where this stomach ulcer came from. You've forgotten all that, haven't you? You probably think you did it all on your own. So yes, let's get divorced. Let's make it final. I'm giving you an out. I don't want to fight anymore. I'm too tired." My voice trailed off. I just stared at her, waiting. Just then, her phone buzzed in her purse. She snatched it out. It was Dylan. She answered instantly. Dylan's voice came through the speaker, frantic. "Val, can you come over? My son has a fever. He won't stop crying." Valerie didn't hesitate. She grabbed her purse, and headed for the door. As she was about to leave, I called out one last time. Go, but don't you dare regret this. Look at you, Leo, she scoffed, not even turning around. A grown man throwing a tantrum because I'm going to check on a sick child. I don't have time for this. Slam. The heavy sound of the door closing echoed in the silent apartment. At that moment, a door in my heart slammed shut too. I stood up and looked around the home where I'd spent so many years of my life. Then I picked up my suitcase and walked out. Stepping out of the building, I took a deep breath of the cool, liberating night air. It felt foreign. On my phone, I pulled up Chris's number. He was my rock, my only port in this storm. The phone barely rang twice before he picked up, his cheerful voice a welcome sound. Chris, it's me, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. Hey man, mind if I crash at your place for a few days? Of course not, dude. My couch is always open for you, he said, his tone shifting to concern. But what's going on? You and Valerie have another fight. I let out a weak, bitter laugh. You could say that. It's a long story. I'll tell you when I get there. I hung up and flagged down an empty Uber. Sliding into the back seat, I gave him Chris's address and leaned against the cool window, watching the city lights streak by. Every light was a different life, a different story. And tonight, I was starting a new one at Chris's apartment. The late-night breeze felt like it was sweeping away the day's exhaustion, promising a new beginning. I knew with Chris, I could finally let my guard down. The thought made me urge the driver to go a little faster. When I showed up at Chris's door with a suitcase, his face fell. Leo, what the hell happened? I dropped onto his sofa. I'm getting divorced. I'm done, Chris. I've had enough. Divorced? No way. I thought you guys were doing okay. That was a long time ago, I said bitterly. Everything's changed. I used to put her first in everything. Now she just sees me as a useless deadbeat. So what's your plan now? He asked, sitting across from me. I'm going to build something for myself, I said, a new determination hardening in my voice. I don't need that kind of fake love anymore. I'm going to live my life for me. Chris nodded. Damn right. Stay here as long as you need. With your talent, you're going to kill out there. You just got sidetracked these past few years. If you hadn't, you'd probably be a millionaire by now. We talked for a while longer. Chris could see I was in a dark place, so he eventually gave me some space to process everything. Just as I was about to fall asleep, my phone lit up with a new message. It was from Dylan. Hey man, sorry to drag Val away. So late to help with my son. I'll buy you dinner tomorrow to make up for it. I stared at the message, then blocked and deleted without a second thought. The next morning, I woke up early and started drafting my resume, targeting several major companies I'd been following. Just as I was polishing a cover letter, my phone rang. It was Valerie. Leo, are you a child? She yelled without even saying hello. Dylan was trying to be nice and invite you to dinner, and you blocked him? What is wrong with you? That is so incredibly petty. Before I could get a word in, she continued, whatever. Just get over here. He's making lunch. Then her voice dropped. And after we eat, we can go to the courthouse and get the paperwork filed. The deadline for school registration is the day after tomorrow. The mention of the courthouse was all I needed to hear. Fine, I said. I'll be there in a bit. I showered, dressed, and left. Around 10, my Uber dropped me at the address Valerie had sent. I saw her standing outside the apartment building, wearing an apron. As I approached, she scowled. I told you to come early. What took you so long? Come on, let's go inside. She turned and walked into the building without waiting for me. I gritted my teeth and followed her upstairs, all for the sake of getting this over with. When I stepped into Dylan's apartment, Valerie was already in the kitchen, helping him cook. They moved around each other in a seamless, practiced dance. I felt like a complete fool. Seeing me just standing there, Valerie called out, acting like she was the lady of the house. Well, sit down. Don't just stand there like a statue. I sat on the sofa and watched their domestic performance. Soon, lunch was ready. I barely spoke, forcing down a few bites before Valerie announced it was time to go. We drove to the county courthouse in silence. The process was surprisingly quick and clinical. Walking out of the building, a wave of nausea hit me, and my stomach cramped violently. I slowed down. Hurry up, Valerie snapped. I'll give you a ride home. Just as she finished speaking, her phone rang. After a short conversation, she turned to me. You'll have to get your own Uber. Dylan's son isn't feeling well again. He might need to go to the hospital. I have to go. I had just stepped out of her car onto the curb when she sped off, leaving me in a cloud of exhaust. The world tilted, my vision went black, and I collapsed. When I came to, I was lying in a hospital bed with N4 in my hand. I turned my head and saw a beautiful, smiling face looking down at me. Sunlight streamed through the window, illuminating her crisp white doctor's coat. Her dark hair was pulled back neatly, with a few stray strands framing a kind face. Her eyes were bright and focused on me with a gentle curiosity. The face was familiar, a ghost from a past I'd nearly forgotten. You're, I stammered. Leo? It's me, Chloe Chun, she said softly. Do you remember? From college. Chloe. I remember, I said, my mind clearing. We used to see each other in the library all the time. Did you save me? You were lucky, Leo. I was just passing by on my way home and saw a crowd. I went over to see what was happening, and I couldn't believe it was you. So I had you brought here. Thank you so much, I said, trying to sit up. Chloe gently pushed me back down. Don't mention it. You need to rest. Just then, the door to my room flew open and Valerie stormed in, her face a mask of fury. I cannot believe you, Leo Miller. I go to check on a sick kid, and you start blowing up my phone and faking a hospital visit? You are so. Chloe stepped between us. Are you the patient's family? She asked calmly. I was the one who called you. We found him unconscious on the sidewalk. When we can't identify a next of kin, we call the most recent number in their phone. Valerie glared at the beautiful doctor. And who are you? I'm his doctor, Chloe replied. I took a breath. You're mistaken, Chloe. She's not my family anymore. We finalized our divorce this afternoon. Valerie stared at me. It was a fake divorce, Leo. Fake for you, maybe, I said, my voice cold and hard. I'm done. After all these years, after every insult, every time you made me feel worthless, I've had enough. I want my own life. You should go. I don't want to see you again. Valerie's face contorted with rage. Fine. You pathetic, useless man. You'll be starving on the street without me. Don't come crawling back when you realize what you've lost. She slammed the door on her way out. She was so sure I was just angry that I'd cool down in a few days and beg her to take me back. She had no idea that this time I was never looking back.